Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So the market is still pretty stable. We do have our interest rate announcement tomorrow, which might throw things for a loop, but for right now, we're in a really interesting spot in the market. So last week's sales, Georgetown had 10 sales and 15 new listings. So that's great news, more listings than sales. What we're seeing though is a lot of properties continuing to come off the market, and it's really sort of impacting our supply, because although we're seeing lots of properties come up, we are seeing a lot of stuff being purchased. And then when you add in the properties coming off the market, our inventory just is not rising here. So looking at Acton this week, Acton had 3 sales, which is great news for Acton because it has really been struggling the last month or so. So 3 sales is good. And there's 5 properties in Acton in the sold conditional status. So things are starting to move in Acton because we're seeing the price points there starting to come down. There were 2 new listings overall in Acton. So not a ton of new stuff coming up, which is probably good for them there. No sales or new listings in Glen Williams. No sales or new listings in Limehouse. No sales in the rural market, but 1 new listing. And something to note, of all the sales this week, so there was 13 sales this week, only 1 of them got over 1.25. So we've been talking about how the lower price point is moving, but that upper end is just like dead. And there was only 1 of the 13 sales over 1.25 million. Everything else was in that lower end. And then also of note, there was 18 new sales. Sorry, gosh, I can't talk today. 18 new listings, 13 sales. So we should have inventory up, but this segues into my active inventory. Our inventory this week is down because we're seeing, again, so many properties terminating and not re-entering the market. So Halton Hills' overall active inventory went from 159 active listings down to 157 active listings. So despite our inventory being higher than our sales, we are not seeing that climb in active listings. So looking at Georgetown, we're up slightly this week from 92 to 94 active listings, but again, that's staying very low in comparison to where we were. Looking at our price points, under 800,000 is up from 14 to 15, 800 to $1 million, which is definitely the pocket that is moving the most right now. It seems like people are trying to stay under that $1 million mark on freehold properties. And so we're down from 20 to 17 active listings in that pocket. The bad news for 1 to 1.5 is you're up this week from 30 to 33 active listings. Again, we sat over 50 for a very long time in that pocket. So it just gives you an idea of inventory being down, but that pocket is struggling to move. What's struggling even more is over 1.5 million. So we were at 28 active listings last week. We are up to 29 active listings this week. But that pocket of properties just is not seeing much move. And so if you are a seller in that pocket and you get a buyer who is willing to even put any form of offer on your property and you need to sell it, I would take that very seriously because there are so few buyers in that pocket right now. Now looking at Acton. Acton is down from 25 to 23 active listings, which is still pretty high for Acton. Glen Williams remained the same at 8, Limehouse remained the same at 5, and the rural market is down slightly from 29 to 27, and the rural market is definitely the market that we see the most properties sort of come off the market in. It's always slow when there's options to buy in town, and so that pocket is impacting our inventory levels that keep coming down as well. So overall, we are still not in... We are in a buyer's market in a lot of pockets, but we're seeing multiple offers on some properties. I was looking out in Guelph and Cambridge, and there was tons of properties holding off offers out there, which felt crazy to me. One of them got 8 offers. I was like, what market am I in right now? So things are busier than I thought they would be. There are less listings coming up than I thought there would be. So it's going to be really interesting. Was this a surge to get into the market before tomorrow's interest rate announcement? And are we going to be totally dead after that? Or are the buyers just sort of accepting where we're at in the market and things are still chugging along? So it's going to be really interesting to see next week where October's numbers come in, but they're going to be pretty strong, I think. And it's going to also be interesting to see where the trend goes after this interest rate announcement. So I will be back next Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.